G'day, g'day, g'day. It's the Mathematical KM or Keith Malumbi coming to you with the final round of the Tuggeranong Club Championships, round 11. I've got the black pieces against Marcel. Marcel's 1644 and I'm 1450, so it should be a good one. And let's see how we go. Okay, he's book move, right in, take that middle, e4. Starting the fan shadow. Knight to f3, still fairly standard. As we start to go through the first 10 moves, we'll see how we go. Really wants bishop to b7, and now it's best. White with the 0.5, which is about what white always starts with, edge at this point. Okay, now I haven't moved my A pawn. There's no real need for that part of the hippo. Don't really need A6. But I've jumped in now prior to moving knight to D7, just with thoughts of trapping that knight on F3. Subscribers to the channel will have noticed last week's game I actually had a chance to catch a knight on F3 which had nowhere to go. And if this pawn moves forward, can go to H4. And in the analysis, the wash-up of last week, if you can force that knight to H4, can't go there either. If that knight can be forced to go to H4, it then can be chased down and it's badly placed, and the computer analysis was telling me that would be a good thing. Knight to D7, finishing. The computer wants me to finish getting the standard thick-skinned hippo. That's best. But it is interesting that computer's saying it's excellent, but every pawn move around a king creates weaknesses. Of course, how's my king? So it has provoked the move of the H pawn. So I was thinking, that could come in handy. Now we complete our thick-skinned hippo. He's given himself now 2 pieces protecting that e-pawn. And had a little bit of a think at this point in time. And even now, as you'll see, the computer is suggesting it's dropping first or second, and it's back to first. The castling kingside gets my king away from that rook. And placing my rook here to back the f-pawn push. And it very much, as you can see, was the best idea. I'm guilty of this on occasion. I've planned to castle queenside and get a few more pieces in there, and caught napping, as we'll see. Castling kingside was best, f5 was a mistake. Not prepped enough. I do have a knight and a pawn, but in many situations that pawn could well end up being pinned, especially if the knight's gone. or moved away. So that was premature f5. That could well be the title for this video. If not, know when to Kenny Rogers, know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to castle. You look at the analysis here, castling kingside even now is being recommended big time. Really should have done it before playing that move. That, I think, is the biggest lesson from today. Taking with the pawn, the knight would still be covering the king and it'd be protected. Whereas the pawn, yes, it's in the way, but it isn't protected. I can definitely see how that was a mistake, and there's a big jump in the way this game was going right there. And E times F5 was best. So that's a minor mistake, I can see that, but the key error was the too early F5 push. And it's called a miss, but bishop to c4 was the best move for Marcel. Marcel is doing the right thing big time, trying to open up with that rook. There was just perhaps a better square for the bishop to go to. So it's a miss, not a mistake. Good, but could have been better, sort of a thing. Now, at this point in time, I already know I'm in a little bit of a quandary. And I really don't know why I thought I'd get away with queen here, then castle, and then everything will be nice. But because I know that there's dangers of a check on g6 at some point when all this goes down. Let's take a look. Right now, if white gets to take, if I have to take back with the pawn, then his bishop can take my g-pawn with a discovered check. Really bad things will happen. And I attempted to avoid some of those bad things by moving my queen across, hoping to get one more move and castle queenside. Marcel, being an excellent player that he is, you'll see doesn't give me that move that I would have liked. And then you'll see me kicking and screaming for a while. Castling now, right now, realising that probably go down a pawn by doing it, but that's not the worst thing in the world. Rating eval 1 if I castle now, because that'll give me a rook that can take the bishop if it's taken. If his bishop takes my knight. If he ends up, even if he somehow does get a check there, because it's a bishop, not a queen, the king could then sidestep to the h8 square. So, damn it, castle kingside. And it's almost hope chess. The solid red circle with the double question mark. It was not a happy move. Sure, if he doesn't pull the trigger, if I got away with it, it would all be nice, but apparently it was an inaccuracy, but it was just fine. I took back with the queen, hoping to avoid the bishop takes pawn with the discovered check. If he wants to keep the queens on the board, I will avoid that. Only the one good move. Sometimes when the only good move is taking the queens off the board, people can be hesitant to play that. The next best is minus 0.8 to me, or minus 1.2. So it just goes to show that Marcel is no dummy. He takes it. I take back, discovered check with the bishop taking the pawn. Nicely done, sir. King f8 was best, but it's the best of a sad... Didn't castle when I needed to, and now you're seeing a king that was trapped in the middle. He's got a bishop and a rook, and the knights aren't too far away, though for now the knights can't really come forward. Rook to c8 was best. At this point, great move. The end of that little exchange is actually better for Marcel. That's good. Now in the end, it's from plus 3.6 to plus 4.9 are my choices here. And the deal is I need to protect that knight, and if I move that knight, I'm going to lose my c-pawn. Bishop c8 was definitely the way to go, but I guess psychologically already a little bit scarred by the board exploding around my king there. And inaccuracy, yeah. I knew I was giving up the pawn, planning to... If I can get rid of his knight and get my pawns on the other colour and get rid of the rooks, maybe some small hope of playing for a draw. Nice move. Should I take the bishop? We have got beautiful fork on king and rook. Be another, if Marcel was reviewing this game, beautiful fork on king and rook could well be the title. I was fully aware of this one. You'll see the one that I didn't see coming soon. Thereby that fork's not there. He collects another pawn. At this point in time, I thought I was being sneaky, and this is the limits of my evaluating. I need to go a little bit deeper. But I'm hoping to get a discovered attack of my own with a check and then take the rook. Got to think one move further. Watch this. He takes, I take, check, he takes. I get the rook. And a nice, great move. Fork on the knight and the rook. I had thought maybe I'd gotten let back into the game with going up the exchange and having a rook to the knight, even though down a few pawns. But not to be. Gone the right way with his knight. He was always going to. The knight's out. The pawns are over. I shook Marcel's hand at this point in time. So it was a nice game. The build-up in the middle from the thick-skinned Hippo was good. Could see the way to break through. Coulda, woulda, shoulda castled kingside, as it was advised many times. That would have put a rook behind the f-pawn before it was thrown forward. And not to play hope chess with hoping your opponent's going to give you that extra move to get that castling in. But all in all, it was a fun game against a really cool, nice opponent who had a good chat about the game afterwards, and fun was had by everyone. So, bye for now.